Alright, we have time for one more friend before the end of the day. Come on. Well, two friends. Armed with your fresh heaps of hard-won cultural knowledge, you continue on your journey. Troll life sure is complicated, not to mention troll romance. You really aren't interested in getting into all of that. Your life is complicated enough, and adding an additional level of angst on top of that does not sound ideal. Friendship is about all you can handle right now. And boy, do you love to handle it. Just get your fingers all up in there and squish that shit around. Alright. Kuprum and Folykl. Wandering deeper into the city, you wash up on the shores of what looks like a rougher part of town. Comparatively, everything about Alternia is rough, but down here the streets get narrower, dingier. The buildings are run down. Streetlights flicker, and the patrolling drones look less inclined to serve and protect, and more likely to shoot you and claim it was self-defense. You haven't seen any tracks, but if you had, this place would definitely be on the wrong side of them. Again, emphatically, you don't know what you're talking about. Everything you know has been gleaned from exceedingly painful trial by fire. But this looks like the sort of place no one cares about except the people who live there. A noisy group of trolls spills onto the street up ahead, and you quickly duck behind a row of garbage cans. You have recently become gun-shy around groups, especially since most of these guys look fancy and are wearing symbols in varying shades of blue. Not to generalize, but blue bloods are starting to freak you out. Everybody here messes with you, but the higher castes do it with a government sanction. These particular blue bloods all look as lost as you did several friends ago, gazing around in varying flavors of bemusement and frustration. They glance nervously between each other and the looming buildings on either side. Ha ha ha! With a hot jolt of adrenaline, you realize you aren't the only person hiding in a pile of garbage. There's someone else. Two someones, actually. What you initially take as one large, lumpy troll resolves on second glance into two smaller trolls, a girl and a boy. The girl is clinging to the boy's back like a very greasy sloth. It looks like a pretty precarious position, in your opinion. You've recently become an expert in falling down. They're both skinny and stringy, and damn, you thought that smell was from the garbage, but it might be them. Oh, they're just busy living their pathetic lives. Walking out of their hives, straight into our trap. Idiots never see it coming. You ask if they mean the trolls out on the street. Probably you should just mind your own business, but when the fuck have you ever done that before? Also, it's nice to see someone besides you getting mocked for once. You kind of want to join in on the mocking. Who the fuck are you? Where'd you come from? Trash creature. Born out of trash. Well, so much for not getting mocked. These two are probably equal opportunity mockers, though. They mock everyone, kind of like Polypa had been with murder. They keep snickering. You can't help thinking you are being called out. I'm gonna take you lying down. That's what friends do, right? Let each other walk all over you. You never thought about what a weirdly sexual idiom that is. Regardless, you decide to swallow your protests. Hey, that's pretty sexual also. Thanks, English language. You don't want to start out a friendship with hostility. If you'd had parents, they would have told you that two wrongs don't make a right. You could argue it isn't worth trying to befriend people who open with insults, but that's just how people are here. You've got to roll with it, or get out of town. And since you literally can't go anywhere, you'll just roll. You really, really want more friends. Addiction is a powerful thing. You admit that you don't have a lusus, and that you're pretty used to insults these days. You include an affected shrug to demonstrate just how easily everything rolls off your back. You add in a contrite little kick at the pavement, and hang your head, even if you aren't quite sure what you did wrong. Lol, Rusky dunks on their own damn self. Don't have to do shit. This could be kind of relaxing, for us. The girl turns her weird, spidery face toward you. You should come hang out. Wait, what? You want to hang out with this bottom feeder? They look like a huge drag.
I already have enough dead weight with your ass to drag around.
Oh man, you really hit the jackpot with these guys. 2 friends for the price of 1.
Yeah. Answer your earlier question that you may have forgotten you asked. Kuprum hacked their Palm Hus GPS to bring them down here. Idiots can't do that shit without their fancy tech. Oh.
The Blue Bloods are all arguing now. Somebody throws a punch. You figure it's a good prank, if a little mean-spirited. Folykl stops yanking at Kuprum's hair and looks at you.
Wow, you really are pretty basic. Hey, Kuprum.
She gives his hair another yank, like his reins, and he's her horse. Kuprum grins, showing a bunch of big, blunt teeth. He raises a hand that crackles with white-hot energy. Those teeth don't look blunt, I'll tell you. Your stomach clenches and your feet leave the pavement, just enough for your toes to drag along the ground as you float over to them. For a few seconds, you have 0 control over your body. Kuprum lets you go, and you land hard enough on your heels to make your ankles twinge. One of the flickering streetlights shines down on Folykl's face. What you had initially taken as deep-set eyes are actually no eyes. There are black holes in her face. They look super creepy, and also super painful.
Yeah, so what? You think I would just have eyes like some kind of normie?
You would never accuse her of that. That isn't really a word you have in your lexicon.
Hello.
He keeps doing that, saying the word instead of laughing. It's actually a hell of a power play.
Goddamn idiot doesn't know a case of void rot when they see it. Have you never met a gold blood before?
You have, but you aren't sure if Tirava counts. They're an internet celebrity, for one thing. For another, they have eyes. Well, one eye. And the other one wasn't lost to void rot. Whatever the hell that is. You wonder if that's why she's on top of Kuprum. He's some kind of combination steed and seeing eye dog.
Void rot means my body doesn't retain energy like it's supposed to. Just look it up on Gorgle. It means I'm dying constantly, all the time.
You almost point out that technically everyone is dying all the time, but you sense this isn't the moment for fake deep fuckery. That really sounds like it blows, though. You tell her how sorry you are.
What do you mean? Why would you be sorry? You didn't do anything. Besides stand there looking ugly. Idiot thinks it makes a difference. Like what they think actually matters. Lol. Can't wait for Tritza to take this one down to the Coalfields for a little R&R.
Rest and relaxation. That sounds nice, actually.
Rampage and rending. Ah. Wow, and here was me thinking we could get through a whole conversation without bringing up precious Tritza. Oh, Tritza rules. I love Tritza. I know, dipshit.
You rack your recent memories trying to figure out if you know what a Tritza is, or who.
Tritza is basically the 3rd member of this relationship, considering how goddamn horny you are. To get her cybernetic tentacles up in you.
Wow.
What? Is that supposed to make me feel bad? Sounds great, actually. You watch too much Eastern Alternian pornography. It'd be way better than sitting around with you. Always sucking me dry.
This sure is something you're witnessing right here. It must be that black rum stuff Zebra had briefly filled you in on. You cock a hip and compliment them on the obviously incredibly healthy pitch romance they've got going on here. Because as everyone knows, there's nothing 2 people in a lover's spat like more than someone interrupting them to spout random bits of cultural knowledge. That separates them. Metaphorically, at least. Physically, Folykl stays clinging to Kuprum's back.
You're wrong again, fuckbulge. We're pale? Oh, pale.
Oh, pale. That's the nice one. The petting one, where you talk about your feelings and then don't have sex.
What? You got something to say?
Yeah. You guys really don't seem to have your shit together. You mentioned, just offhandedly, chill as hell, that maybe they might have a few things they need to work on. No pressure or anything. Just, this is the sort of stuff a helpful friend does. Mention shortcomings and crappy relationship dynamics. Having friends is great. The light glitters on Kuprum's goggles, even as it is sucked into the black hole of Folykl's not eyes.
You calling me out? You coming into my hive and spouting this shit?
You want to point out that this is a trash heap, though you don't want to judge. He might have a trash hive.
It's a figure of speech. Kind of like, go fuck yourself?
Both of them look pissed, but Kuprum looks extra pissed.
I know what this is. You're out to steal my girl. You really think you can give Fall what she needs? What she craves?
He's making it sound like a fetish, rather than a medical condition. Maybe it's both.
You really want to come at me, motherfucker?
The hairs on the back of your head stand on end. That's how loud he yells. Or maybe it's the crackles of energy slowly emanating from his pores and building like a sine wave. At first you think it's just you finally cracking under all the pressure, but it's really happening. The glow of white-hot electricity rolls up his arms and shoulders and into Folykl, where it travels over the length of her body and centers where her eyes should be. She shivers and lets out a short, slightly lewd sound. Her hands tighten in Kuprum's wild hair. Man, you really shouldn't be watching this. You are blushing something fierce. But, okay. You think you get what's going on, a kind of symbiosis. His energy overflows when he gets upset, and Folykl sucks up that energy to treat her void rot. He is her giant battery. You remember Tsurada mentioning that powerful Goldbloods have a tendency to get harvested for their energies. Maybe Kuprum is one of those powerful psychics.
He wishes. Tritch is gonna chew him up and spit him out. Then I'm really gonna have to find another sucker to leech off.
Folykl is looking at you, considering. Well, you aren't actually sure if she can see you. Definitely not with her eyes, since she doesn't have those. Maybe she's like a cricket? Don't they hear with their legs or some horseshit like that?
What? This guy? Please.
Sure, why not? I'm getting sick of your shit anyway. Oh, God. Are they breaking up right in front of you? Folykl crawls down off Kuprum's back and starts across the filthy alley floor towards you, scuttly and bug-like. And now, instead of yelling, Kuprum is snickering. Actual laughter, not lols. That's a good sign, right? It's great when friends can laugh together. Especially when shit gets awkward.
You think you can power me the way I need?
Whoa. He's right in your face. She really, really needs a shower. But you don't have room to talk. It's been a long time since Tiger's evolution trap. Besides, judging someone based on their personal hygiene is shallow, right? It's what's on the inside that counts. Yeah, you're sure that's the sort of thing that makes you deep. Seriously, you have so much love to give. Friend love is what you're all about. Maybe this is what all that desperation has been leading up to. The slow raising of your friendship level in order to reach this peak of unbelievable bro power. To free this young Goldblood from a codependent relationship, you've been conditioning your body, putting it through its paces, building up a tolerance to bullshit and just bathing in metaphorical resonance. Folykl kisses you. Wow, that is friendly. Lots of people kiss their friends, you're pretty sure. Maybe? Yeah, you are super progressive. This is fine. You sort of wish that the first alien tongue you've had in your mouth didn't taste like Cheetos. But you can't have everything in this life. But holy shit, you're doing it! You feel a rush of energy flow through you, lighting up your whole body and pouring into Folykl, filling her to the brim with the power she needs, the power she craves. God, you are the best friend ever. It's you. You rock. You seriously... lol... are... lol 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 lol... the best. Lol 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 lol. Oh, son of a bitch. You feel something warm on the back of your neck, and Kuprum is giggling right next to your ear. Somehow, while you were busy kissing his girlfriend, he snuck up from behind and started kissing you too. Well, more just putting his mouth on you and moving his tongue around. He must be feeding psychic energy into you, which Folykl is sucking out of your mouth. They're using you like a goddamn copper wire. You could maybe be into it if you weren't behind a dumpster. And if you were looking for anything more than some good old-fashioned wholesome friending.
Kuprum, fuck off. Don't help. You aren't involved in this.
Kuprum is still laughing, and he's added the lulls back in, which you like even less when they're pressed against your neck. He steps back, and the flood of energy lets up. You go from feeling like a light bulb to feeling like a steadily deflating balloon. Folykl kisses you again. It still tastes like Cheetos, but also like dying. Like your entire body has been placed in a juicer, and a giant is squeezing down. Your muscles twitch, and drool drips out of the corner of your mouth. Folykl must be the only thing holding you up, because when she steps back, you slump to your knees and go down on your side. Your fall is broken by some old rotten fruit.
Cool.
Folykl stands silhouetted against the streetlight in all her greasy glory.
Thanks, Normie. That'll hold me for maybe like the next 15 minutes.
A fog closes in on you as you lie on that filthy pavement. Is it the fog of death, or just impending unconsciousness? You don't know. One thing is for sure, though. It is not the fog of impending friendship. Game over.
Come on.
Alright, let's back to friendship. Alright. There was a choice beyond that one, so we'll do stick up for ourselves. You put it to them, offhandedly, that perhaps it is they who are the trash creatures, since they are the ones who smell like they've been rolling in it for the past few days. For some reason, this makes them laugh even harder.
Kuprum, check out the badass we got here. It's when freaky callbait nerdlord talks back. Why don't you run and cry about it? Yeah, go tell your Lucis on it.
The girl tugs at the boy's hair, and then they're off, cackling and running up the street with a weird stumbling gait. They leave you all on your lonesome, fresh friendship opportunities withering on the vine. You probably dodged a bullet, but you can't prevent the oncoming. Game over.
It's for the best.
Friendship. Down. Ah. Ooh. Okay. You guys seem like you have a wonderful, stable relationship.
Alright. Glad you understand.
You don't feel great about this. It's not cool to tell lies, especially not to your new friends. But it's also not cool to neg your rad new friend's relationship, especially when you don't know how the fuck any of this stuff works. Honestly, you should probably come up with some sort of mnemonic for just how little you know about anything at all. You don't know what that means. YDK, WTM. You'll workshop it.
Well, you actually seem okay. Obviously a huge normie freak, but okay.
You wonder what kind of people Kuprum has been hanging out with if he thinks you look normal. At this point, you're, what, dressed in a bathrobe, sunburned, slathered in sparkly lotion, and probably a bunch of other stuff you can't remember right now. His friends must look really wild. You hope whoever these friends are will be your friends too. You aren't picky about looks. The group of blue bloods out on the street, maybe they could use some friends too. You're getting the vapors at just the thought of all these potential connections. You start around the dumpster to find out. Kuprum grabs the back of your shirt.
Where do you think you're going? Idiot tries to make decisions for themselves. The decisions are bad. Nobody's fucking surprised. Lol.
You point out, very respectfully, that all these people look pretty lost and confused. You assume the prank is over now. Everyone can shake hands and go on as friends. This is idiotic, considering what you've learned about Alternia up till now.
Not a prank. This is war. Not over until all of them are dead or crying.
Well, okay. As long as you aren't the one dead or crying. None of the high bloods look too close to doing either, though. They're standing in a clump in the center of the street, nervous but fine. This is just a minor inconvenience, like a flat tire or a spilled cup of coffee. They have been lured into the slums by some greasy nerds, but Folykl and Kuprum don't seem to plan on doing anything besides watching and giggling. One of the blue bloods, a smallish girl with a cerulean symbol on her hair clips, is standing a little apart from the group, furiously texting.
TFW and dirty blue blood girl starts losing her cool. Should have known one of them would crack.
You aren't sure what's going on.
Yeah, it's really good. Still not great. Wriggler's calling the damn drones. Usually high bloods wouldn't go running them like that. I want them to admit low bloods got one over on them. When you get owned, fucking own it.
Like to go on a t-shirt. Folykl and Kuprum seem bummed that their prank is going to end so fast and with so little damage done. But isn't that the point of a prank? That everyone gets out of it relatively unscathed? Anything more and it becomes an assault. Overhead, there's a whir and a clank. Loud, but not loud enough to prepare you for the damn flying bus coming in for a landing out on the street. Holy shit. You don't think you've ever been so excited about public transportation. You're confident that continuing your ramble across this alien world is the best thing for you, but gosh, it'd be nice to rest your feet for a little while. Even better, none of the trolls getting on the bus seem to have any money or travel passes. Perfect. You don't have any of those things either. You start around the trash pile again, and this time 2 pairs of hands grab onto the back of your shirt. Dude, where the hell are you going? You quickly explain that you want to catch the bus before it takes off again. You have no idea how long it will be before another one arrives. Folykl and Kuprum look at you like you're crazy. Well, Kuprum looks at you, and Folykl looks kind of off your shoulder. Can you call it looking if someone doesn't have eyes?
Listen, I know we make jokes about the intelligence of everybody around us. It's just our thing. But are you actually mentally handicapped?
You can't just get on a chartered scuttle buggy.
Head for cerulean up, maybe teal if they got a death wish.
This damn hemospectrum thing again. You really need someone to sit you down and explain exactly how all of this works. Preferably without calling you an idiot the whole time, or hitting on you. It just seems so arbitrary. At least the oppressive power structures from your planet make sense. Well, no, they don't, actually. But you're used to them, which makes them much better and more acceptable. You hang back as all the blue bloods get on the bus. It occurs to you that even though it was their prank that lured the blue bloods down here, Folykl and Kuprum had to watch it all unfold from behind a dumpster. They don't dare do anything head-on. Not that you support just randomly attacking people in the street, but it is kind of fucked up that only a certain kind of violence is acceptable, aimed in a very specific direction. Judging from how easily Kuprum picked you up with his brain, he could hold his own in a fight, no problem. The bus takes off, blasting a backdraft that rattles the empty cans and crumples bits of garbage in the gutter. Stillness descends on the alley. Oh, that was anticlimactic. Kuprum said they were calling the drones, but a bus came instead. Maybe calling the drones can mean a whole bunch of things. Like calling 911 can be to report a robbery, assault, or someone's leg falling off. Or that's what you think, until you hear the distant, but quickly closing pound of giant footsteps. Fuck. Time to go. Folykl wraps her arms more securely around Kuprum, and he takes off. Like, literally takes off. At first you think he's wearing those shoes with the little wheels on the bottom, the kind kids wear to crash into stuff at the mall. But no, he's hovering a half-inch off the ground. You have to run to keep up with him, and your steps are distressingly loud on the pavement. A familiar weightlessness shoots through your limbs, settling in your guts. Energy crackles around you, picking you up off the ground and pulling you along behind them. He has enough power to float both of you at once, all the while carrying his girlfriend on his back. You don't know much about psychics, why decay it might be, but that is pretty damn impressive. The 3 of you round a corner, and you forget all about being impressed because you're too busy freaking the fuck out. You were so busy worrying about the drone coming from behind you that you did not consider the possibility of one closing in from the front. This one is smallish, but it's still a lot bigger than you, and a lot spinier, and a lot more endowed with dangerous lasers. and it's focused on the three of you instead of someone else. You, Folykl, and Kuprum make a similar noise. It goes a little bit like, "Ah, smash!" The smash at the end comes from Kuprum, picking all three of you up with his brain and tossing it, just as the drone shoots a laser out of its torso. It blasts the pavement where you'd been standing to craggy, smoking chunks. You tumble feet over ass into the alley wall. Concerning pain twinges through your healing ribs, but you're just so used to injuries at this point you barely wince. What's more concerning is Folykl. The blast rips her off Kuprum and sends her in the opposite direction, against the alley wall, with you. She immediately curls into a ball, like a pill bug with a lot of hair. She doesn't respond when you ask her if she's okay, and you aren't sure if you should touch her. You shouldn't move injured people, right? Especially not injured people with void rot. I'm fine. I'll live. Oh fuck. The drone had a 50-50 chance of coming in your direction instead of Kuprum's, and surprise, it did. It moves altogether way too fast for something that size. Aren't big things supposed to be slow? That's what video games taught you. Video games wouldn't lie, would they? Fuck shit. You've come all this way, dodged so many dangers, and made so many friends, and now you're just gonna get lasered by some huge, spiky robot monster thing. Are they even robots? They look kind of organic. But so do, like, the couches here. But you digress. It's going to kill you. But instead of dealing you a quick, fatal blow, the drone stops in the center of the street. Its big, ugly head swivels toward Folykl. Oh god. Is it possible you found someone more gullible than you are? Alternia definitely doesn't seem like a great place to be the weakest link. As usual, you are next to useless. All you can do is watch, as the drone takes heavy steps toward her. Desperate, you kick a nearby trash can. You shout, you make as much noise as you can, trying to draw its attention. Once you have it, and you aren't sure what you're going to do with it, but you aren't worried about that right now. The drone grinds to an uncertain halt. Its head slowly turns toward you, then back to Folykl. It can't make up its mind. Should it go for void rot, or the noisy asshole? You look around for weapons while it's frozen in indecision. There's nothing here but empty bottles and tiny pieces of concrete. You really are a worthless wreck. Your new friend is about to get stomped, or blasted, or kicked with a giant metal leg, and all you can do is hop around like a maniac and smack a trash can. Fuck. Luckily, for once, you aren't the only one here. Your new friend already has a friend. You're really friend-crashing here. Kuprum doesn't screw around. He rises up on a wave of crackling power, attacking the drone by, well, basically just by putting his hands on its big ugly head and discharging as much energy as possible, frying whatever brainstem the thing has. You try to be at least a little bit useful and drag Folykl out of the way of the drone as it falls. When it doesn't fall, it just shuts down. The evil red glow of its eyes dies, and it goes still. It becomes just a giant, ugly statue of an alien robot in the middle of a filthy street. Kuprum drops like a rock, and before he's even out of the air, he's on his way to Folykl. He shoves you out of the way.
Paul, are you okay? Please say you're okay. What the fuck? What fall?
Folykl buries her face in Kuprum's chest, her two little fists clinging tight to his arms. Her shoulders rise and fall. She's taking huge breaths like she can't get her lungs to work right. Do trolls even have lungs? They probably call them something weird. Respiratory sacs, breath glands, suck sphincters.
Fine, idiot.
You had a snide comment all ready to go, concerning appreciating your loved ones while you can before a big metal monster comes and squishes them. But sitting here watching Kuprum hold Folykl like he never wants to let her go, well, all your snideness drains into a puddle at your feet. You don't know them. You don't know their life. Their relationship might not be the healthiest, but honestly, whose is? You've seen some really bad shit, both here and back home.
Hey, you okay, dork?
Yeah, you really are. Thanks to them. Victory! Alright. That is all the time we have for today. We'll be back tomorrow with more of it, though. So, Thank you all for hanging out with me. Y'all have a great day out there.